Hello YouTube, LJ Draco here. So yes, as you can see, this is another podcast. As I explained in a recent video, the podcasts were supposed to be every Monday, but I was asked to give a bit of a description in a future podcast about why I'm reluctant to spend a lot of time on this channel anymore. And that's what this one's mainly going to be about. It's going to be about why I'm not doing videos as much and why I've practically given up on the channel. So there's a couple of reasons. I'll start with the least main reason, but just one that's been on my mind recently. What got me into doing videos on YouTube, like my start videos. I know I've done a couple of mini crappy ones beforehand when I first started out. But the reason I started getting into 3D reviews and unboxings was because at that time, when I was on YouTube, I couldn't find anybody who was doing 3D Blu-ray reviews. And I had just started collecting, and no matter where I looked, it was just people picking them up saying good, not good, good, not good. But it wasn't exactly helping with what I was looking for. And I was getting frustrated because I was sitting there saying, well, you know, I want to know if, you know, what are they like? Good or not good doesn't define anything, considering a lot of ones that people said weren't good were great, and a lot of ones that people said are good are quite bad. So it hasn't helped. So I made it my goal to start buying 3D Blu-rays and pre-orders, unbox them, watch them, and then give a kind of like a mini review on the 3D of it. And just to give people a heads up on what they were spending their money on, because that was the kind of help I was looking for. Since I've started till now, there are tons of people who are doing the same thing and doing it a lot better than I ever could. So, you know, I just, to me, I don't feel like I need to do it that much anymore. I only really was doing it just to help, and now that there's tons of other channels that do that job, I don't have to do it anymore. So I'm very reluctant on keeping up with the channel. But to be honest, the main reason, which I just have to ask permission for before I actually spoke about it, is a lot of stuff involving Alice and her mental health has been happening a lot recently. I won't get into too much detailing, but a lot happened over the past few months since we've moved. Things were getting too serious and quite scary for both of us. She was promised a lot of help from the mental health services when we moved, and since we've been here, every single mental health professional that she has seen has basically given up on her and just basically said to her, oh, well, go home and try and deal with your problems. Now, for anyone, I'm going to say this out loud, and I'm going to be honest here, friend or no friend, new viewer, subscriber, if you've got a strong opinion about people with disabilities or people with mental health issues, and you tend to think that they don't deserve help or whatever, please leave my channel. Unsubscribe. Don't communicate with me if this is the case, because I'm a very passionate person for the help of people with disabilities and mental health issues. There are some, I will agree with some people. There are people out there that have mental health issues and disabilities, and they still go to work and they still raise families and they still do whatever they need to do. There are two types of people like this. There are the people who use their disabilities and their mental health to just get what they want and don't have to do anything. And there are those who are too dangerous to themselves and others, who literally cannot be around other people because of the risks. And Alice is one of those people who, for herself and others, she can't be around people too long. You know, and I'll state this because when she was younger, she did have a job. She was working. But then her mental health did deteriorate to the point where she was told she had to leave because she wasn't allowed to be around other people. It got too bad for herself and others that it just had to be a safe environment. And she's been like this from a very, very young age. But it just got worse over time. So when we got recent appointments to see specialists, they told us that they wouldn't give up on her, that they would continuously see her for as long as she needs them to. Then randomly out of the blue, after 3 appointments, they said, "You got 2 more appointments left, and then we're not seeing you anymore. You got to try and deal with your problems at home." Now, for someone like Alice, it's a very big struggle. She's been with specialists since a very young age, so she's not lived a life without support. And sometimes it's good to try and just not think of your mental health or your disability as a negative. Try and use it in a positive way to do what you're good at and to not always let it get to you. But for some people, it's not that easy. There are people all around the world who mental health services are giving up on them and telling them, "Oh, just deal with your problems, wake up and pretend you don't have issues." And they're committing suicide because they feel like no one believes them. And it has been reported that a lot of these people who have committed suicide are young teenagers. Because their families don't believe them, their friends don't believe them. It's a heartbreak to deal with. To listen to that could be happening to people. People you know, people you don't know. I'm one of these people who cares about every human life. I'm not a git. I'm not one of those people who says, "Oh, well, it's not me, it's not my family, so I don't care." I care about all life. So it hurts when I hear that people are ending their lives because the professionals, by the way, who are getting paid to do a job, are not doing their job. So for these past few months, I've been trying to avoid YouTube as much as possible because I've been trying to get Alice more help, more support, trying to get stuff sorted with the house, trying to get stuff with our life. And I can't even begin to explain how many of you have been so supportive over the fact of that. The amount of comments from YouTube, Facebook, Instagram of people who are saying, take your time. We're always here if you need us. Don't rush into it. Don't do content if you're not ready. I can't even begin to thank all of you who have shown that support. I just feel like that at the moment, moving was doesn't sound like it. Moving was still the best thing for us because, believe it or not, living in London was actually a lot worse than this. We don't see it that way at the moment. We still see it that everything's gone wrong since we moved. But when we sit back and look at all the things that happened when we lived in London, none of this actually compares to it. The only thing that sucks is the NHS are not doing their job. Well, not so much the NHS, but the mental health services, they're not doing their job. The NHS do their job. They do it well. But it's the fact that, if you've got mental health or disability, never mind. Push on. It's not as easy as that. It's never as easy as that. And for anyone who thinks it is, then you're stupid. You can't just move on. I can't even go into detail into half the stuff that Alice has gone through because that's not my place. But she's gone through a lot that average people shouldn't have to go through in her lifetime. And she's still here. It's a lot of work and a lot of effort, but it's worth it because she's still alive, she's still breathing, and that's all that's important to me. That's the main reason why I've just been avoiding YouTube because I've got to look after her. She's more important than anything else in this life to me. And I know she'll never believe it. She sees it, but because hardly anyone's ever around for her, she finds it difficult to believe people. And I can understand that. But I would literally give my life for this woman. And that's what I'm doing. Bear in mind, I've said now and again, you will see random videos from me. You will see occasional unboxings or random movie collectibles, and even now, random podcasts. You'll see stuff like this from me. But I just want all of you to know, if any one of you who are suffering with mental health, or if you've got a disability and it is affecting you mentally as well, me and Alice, we are always available to talk to 24/7. I mean, we're both awake during the day, and if I'm asleep at night, she's still guaranteed to be awake at night. You know, so you can reach either of us practically at any time. We're available to everybody and anybody. We're even considering, it's not been in full discussion, but we're considering doing like a YouTube, Instagram thing together, where once a week we'll just do like a live show. It won't be movie related, it won't be lifestyle related, but it will be to the fact of, for anyone who actually suffers with mental health or disabilities that are affecting their mental health, just so it gives them a chance to jump in, talk about what they're going through, and just so that they have someone who will listen. Not someone who will just give up halfway through. Not someone that will say, oh, just go home and deal with it. People who will listen to what they're suffering with and going through, and help them as much as we can. But, yeah. I don't care for my channel as much as I used to. I don't. I had a lot of passion when I first started out. And I think the other thing that's made me kind of reluctant to care about my YouTube channel is all this complaining and bullcrap as well about monetization and earning money from videos. Like I said, when I started my channel, I made a promise that no matter how many subscribers I got, no matter how far I went with this channel, I would never, ever monetize my channel. All I wanted to do was make videos, help people, and enjoy that. But now everyone who starts signing up to YouTube, everybody that starts joining, it's just this, oh, I've got like 50 to 100 subscribers, I want to start monetizing my channel. Or people who upload like once a month and then they go, oh, my videos have been demonetized. And it's like, well, I understand if you're putting effort into something, you don't want it to be for nothing. But the comments, the subscribers, the support from those subscribers are worth more than a couple of pennies or a couple of pounds or dollars here and there from a video. That didn't actually cost you anything to make. Not really. So YouTube's just going down this spiral, and I'm glad I'm getting kind of out of it at the moment, because yeah. And who knows, maybe one day I'll have a consistent flow with the channel and I'll get the enthusiasm to keep going and doing more with it. But for now, you're just going to get random videos here and there, random comments on your videos from time to time. Because I just really don't have the energy anymore. I need to focus every second of my energy on my life, and that is Alice. Even if it means I never do YouTube again, at least I know I'm doing something more important. Well, the first 15 minutes of this podcast was quite serious and depressing. Well, I'm not going to leave you guys completely empty-handed, right? As you can tell by the title, it says Serious Talk Plus and the titles of 2 3D Blu-rays that I've seen. So I promise that my podcast won't just be that. Right, so 2 3D Blu-rays that I've watched recently that I didn't talk about in the last video. In the last video, I talked about Coco, Black Panther, and Psycho. These 2 I'm talking about: Avengers Infinity War and Ready Player One. Start with Ready Player One. Ready Player One is a fantastic movie. It shows exactly where our future's heading, and the use of virtual reality in a way of it's actually like being reborn into a movie universe and a game universe. Oh, don't know what that was. It was like a mini hiccup. That was a weird fucking noise. That was a weird noise. I don't even know how it was like a mini hiccup. Oh, it was funny. Oh. Anyway. Yeah. Sorry, I had to pause it there. I couldn't stop laughing. Yeah. So, Ready Player One is one of those movies that it not only does it feel like this could be our future, but you kind of want it to be your future too, because life, it's not boring. When you see something like Ready Player One, and then you realize we're only like not even a quarter way there yet, it makes you feel so sad, because you're like, I'd love to be living in a virtual world every day where I could change my appearance. When you guys have seen me, I would love to change my appearance in a video game. And feel like I'm that person. But it's not just that. I mean, we get to see so many iconic movie characters in that universe. Not even game characters. We see some gaming characters. But there are so many movie-related references and characters in this movie. And I mean, you don't get to see full on some of them. But you get cameos from like RoboCop. You see him walking on a pathway. Spoiler alert. Skip about 10-20 seconds. You get Chucky, The Shining. So it's nice to see a gaming movie mix up Iron Giant. I mean, not really a spoiler considering you get to see that bastard all over the poster, in the trailer, on the case. But it's a really good story. All the characters are interesting to the point where you don't mind following their journey. 3D is, I'd say, it's about a 7 out of 10. It's mostly in depth and it's letterbox. So it had an opportunity to be 50-50 in depth pop out with full frame, and it lost out so much. But I guess if you don't want to just see it on a standard 2D platform, the 3D can add a little bit of extra fun to it. It's not, you're not missing out a lot, but you know, it adds something extra. I will say that the 2D and the movie is a 10 out of 10. Beautiful colors, beautiful styling, storytelling is amazing, characters are believable. Yeah, I mean that's definitely in my top 5 of 2018 releases. Next up, Avengers Infinity War. Oh, I can't even begin to explain how much I hated this movie to begin with. When I first watched this movie, okay, and bear in mind, I was half asleep watching this. I really couldn't get into it to begin with. It seemed too silly and everything, but I guess once I got a really good night's sleep and put the 3D one on, my opinion, whoever says that 3D cannot change your opinion of a movie, bullshit. Right, that movie in 2D is nowhere near as exciting as watching it in 3D. Right? I love Infinity War now. Unfortunately, it's a similar thing is instead of going IMAX like they did for a lot of their releases, they decided to stay letterbox, which is the most dumbest thing Marvel does. I hate it when they just stay letterbox. Go full frame or IMAX. Do not use letterbox for your movies. Oh, and anyone who puts in the comments, well, that's how they're filmed. Fuck you. I don't care how they're filmed. I do not care how they're filmed. They should have been done in full frame. End of story. Or IMAX. I'm okay with IMAX now because at least we get some decent scenes in full frame. But when you completely half-ass it and just go for letterbox, screw you. But saying that, the 3D is 100% perfect. 50-50 in-depth pop-out, and you don't... Oh, it's not even gimmicky. It's not like most 3D Blu-rays where it's straight out and you can touch it. It's not like that, right? You get a couple of scenes where stuff does come out the screen, which is awesome, but it does not distract you from the movie. It sucks you straight into the screen, and that's what I loved about this. It did not let us down. So, standalone 2D version of the movie is already a 10 out of 10. Well, actually, no, I say 9 out of 10 because the story is good, but I hate the 2D version. 3D, oh, that goes way off the 10 chart into the hundreds. It is in there with my top 10 favorite Marvel 3D releases. So, it makes me happy. Definitely a worth it purchase. And yeah, people are going to probably say, oh, but the 4K looks so cool, so crisp and clear. Well, guess what? Go yourself. The 4K may look nice, but until you see Infinity War in 3D, don't give me bullshit that 4K is better. Tell you now, you're missing out. Oh, screw it. I've got enough time. I'll talk about one more movie. Deadpool 2! I don't know why I shouted Deadpool 2 like. Just as funny as the first. I don't care what anyone says. I even watched the Super Duper cut, which I know a lot of people have said that, you know, it's just as funny without the Super Duper cut. But I love it. It's just as funny as the first one. Okay, it's a bit more sadistically dark, but I love Cable. I think he's a great addition to Deadpool now. I love it. I love all the X-Force characters for as long as they're there. Dopinder, I love Dopinder. He's just such a kiss ass. I really enjoyed it. Do you know what the best it is? Is Deadpool 1 and Deadpool 2 doesn't even have like a ranking system. They're both in the same category. It's 10 out of 10 all the way. I can't love Deadpool 1 more than Deadpool 2. They work as like one. This is the best thing about it. Is they're like one big movie. I can't see them as two separate movies. Which is what I love. I absolutely love it. Oh, I love it. Yeah. Unfortunately, that didn't have a 3D release, so I can only really give you a 2D opinion. But yeah, that's it. That's the end of this video now. I'm sorry the first 15 minutes was a bit serious, but I was asked to give a bit of a description on why everything's happening, so that's as serious as I can be. Anyway, that is the end of this podcast. If you enjoyed it, click the like button, and if you're new to this channel and you haven't seen a lot of my previous videos, please subscribe. Go and check out those videos. Let me know if you like them. Let me know if you don't like them. I'm up to criticism. If you can give me any ideas on how to improve when I make a decent return, great. But for now, thanks for all of your understanding and support. And I know I'm going to get the same amount of support from you guys after this video is up. But yeah, it means a lot to know that you guys are there for us, and it makes Alice not feel so down when she knows that she's got support from you guys as well. It makes her day a bit better. Anyway, take care everyone, and I'll see you all soon.